his was from a financial.
Let me know when you're ready.
Managed the project financially, but it did.
But that wasn't what that.
Well, I'll make an amendment to the agenda to.
Because
I
that's where we
realize
brought
that's
that
what
other
he
party
said.
in later.
Public comment.
Right in, to
Oh, okay,
That was Steve's determination.
okay.
But yes, Matt, I did get your email. Thank you. I'm going to grab their.
yeah, that was the kicker.
Thank you.
Live.
Recording in progress.
Nathan, is there anyone from the lobby that needs to be let in?
The lobby is in now.
All right, lobby is in. We are live. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Chair sees a quorum and calls this meeting of the Whitestown Town Council to order at 7:01 p.m. If you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Next, we'll have a roll call of members.
Councilman Worrell? Here. Councilman Miller?
Absent.
Councilman Baum?
Howdy.
Councilwoman Austin?
Present.
Councilman Wishick?
Absent. All right, that is our quorum. Thank you, everyone. Are there any changes that need to be made to the agenda at this time?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second for the discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. Next, move on to not seeing any presentations. We'll go to the clerk treasurer's report. Any questions for the clerk treasurer on the clerk treasurer's report? Seeing no move to department reports, I wanted to, on department reports, take a moment to acknowledge the Parks Department. As you all may have seen, and I hope you did see, we were awarded as a town $1 million from the Next Level Trails grant. That money will be everything we need, plus some of our park impact fees, to be able to finish the trail, going from where Zionsville stops with their previous grant money, all the way through to where our current trail is, and that will now connect us all the way through, so that the Big Four Trail through Whitestown, through all of our boundaries, will be completed. So that process is going to start, I believe, later this year, and we'll be able to wrap it up, Nathan, next year or in the fall?
So Savannah's on and can go into more detail if you need.
Savannah!
I believe
why
it's
don't you give
going
us
to
an
bid in
update?
spring.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So what we are looking at right now, which there's a document that I believe is on the agenda for later, our schedule, we are going to go ahead and start later this month on our design work. And we should be ready to put the project out to bid early next year and hopefully break ground in April of 23.
With a projected completion of fall of next year?
That will be the goal as of now, yes.
Well, I look forward to the work you and your department will do to get that completed and taken care of, and great work by you and your team, and Nathan and your team for getting all the applications put together and for getting that award. That is a great accomplishment, and I really look forward to being able to have all of our Big Four Trail completed and just ready for people to use. So thank you. With that, Danny, do you want to give us an update from last month's meeting? We had talked about the ADA transition plan, which is part of the consent agenda for us to adopt, and you and I had some discussions on our ability to implement some of those corrective actions. So do you want to give us a little update on that?
Sure. For our ADA transition plan that identified our deficiencies, for all the facilities inside our buildings, I've already engaged a contractor. They'll begin work next week, and we're anticipating having that done within a month or sooner. For all the other items, the curb ramps, we got an engineer's estimate on what that would cost, and we're looking at right now how the best way to fund it or what time frame to do that. We evaluated 587 curb ramps. 363 were compliant, 186 were navigable or non-compliant, which that means they probably miss an ADA stamp or something like that, but they're still navigable. And we had 38 non-navigable, non-compliant ramps. Our estimate was $3,300 for a complete tear out and pouring of a new curb ramp. And so we have a total cost of $739,200 to replace everything. To replace the non-navigable, non-compliant ramps, we have $125,400. And with the replacing the rest would be $613,800.
Well, I look forward to the work that you and your team will do to bring forward a plan next month for us on how to fund it and what our timelines are to get those replaced, knowing that we'll take care of those 38 first and foremost. But I think that shows, as we heard last month, how far ahead we are than many other communities in some of these things. So to hear that we're going to have all of our facility issues taken care of before we get to the end of this month, before we get to race day, and then being able to come back in June and get our plan put together to start fixing some of these other places, I feel like we're in a very strong position that's only going to get stronger. So thank you to you and your team for working on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for department heads this evening on their reports? All right, seeing none, we'll move to public request to speak. Clerk Treasurer Sumner has made me aware that we have a request to speak. Please come forward. Now, I want to make sure I get this right. This is the Hindu Dhammic Organizations of the United States. Is that correct?
Right,
Go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you're here.
sure. Good evening and namaste everyone. My name is Sridhar Rao. I'm a proud resident of Whitestone town. We have been here, living here for about 5 years now. So today I'm representing the Hindu community of Whitestone and the Boone County. So we are having an exhibition, a traveling exhibition at the Zanesville Public Library, the Hussey Mayfield Library. So I thought I'll bring up about the exhibition and highlight what the exhibition is all about, and invite you all to come and take a look at the exhibition. There are a couple of events, significant events planned on 14th and 21st. The upcoming one is on the 14th May on Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So this exhibition provides glimpses into various facets of Hindu Dharma, such as traditions, culture, divinity, temples, scriptures, spiritual paths, dharma and seva, also known as service, and its contribution to yoga, science, architecture, etc. This exhibition is open for all, and it's for people of all walks of life to engage in creating an open-minded environment of mutual respect and inspiration. More than 2 million Hindu Americans are making a significant contribution to the US economy, academia, government, and many other sectors. This exhibition is to enhance understanding of the values of beliefs of Hindus amongst elected representatives. The visitors of the exhibition will be able to appreciate the humanistic and holistic foundations of Hindu Dharma, such as peaceful coexistence, inclusive and equitable progress of all humanity, and respect for diversity. Hindu tenets support democratic ideals and contribute towards a harmonious society. So this exhibition is being hosted in 171 cities across the nation, and it is currently on display at the US Capitol in Washington, D.C. In the last 3 weeks, it has been attended by city council members, mayors, fire and police officers of neighboring cities like Carmel, Fishers, Brownsburg, Columbus, and Greenwood. So please join us to explore the major tenets of Hinduism, a civilization and a way of life that has been evolving continuously for more than 5,000 years. As a community representative, your attendance at this event will be vital in strengthening bonds with a diverse and pluralistic community, and will be an enjoyable way to share and seek knowledge with friends and family. I know Whitestone as a town has been very supportive of diversity and inclusion. The town has been conducting the Festival of Lights. I know it did not happen for the past 2 years. So I welcome you all to come and take a look at the exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here tonight and making us aware of that exhibition. What is a positive is having it at Hussey Mayfield. We hope that the next couple of years, as the new branch is completed right here in Whitestown, we'll be able to have if a traveling exhibit like this happens again, we'll be able to have it right here in the community. And you referenced the Festival of Lights. It's one of those things that COVID caused issues and we weren't able to have. So as we're starting to get some events back together, I hope we're able to get members of the community to come back together with us and get those events going again. So we'll look forward to that. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
If you don't mind, I'll just...
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. All right, any other public requests to speak? Mr. Clerk Treasurer? None? Anyone online wish to speak on non-agenda items?
No one online is requested to speak on non-agenda or agenda items at this time.
All right, do you have anyone else for agenda items I need to be aware of as we move forward?
I do not.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, next on our agenda would be the approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I'd make a motion, we approve the consent agenda, which includes A, the approval of meeting minutes from April 13th, 2022, B, claims, April 2022 expenses town, April 2022 revenues town, the April utility claims, utility operating, C, consider expenditure exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $80,000, the contract with MS Consultants for utility master plan updates, D, consider adoption of Whitestown ADA transition plan, E, consider expenditures exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $98,113 reimbursement agreement with BP Central Pipelines for facility relocation for Main Street roundabout. F, consider expenditure exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $275,000, the Big Four Trail Extension Design and Engineering. G, consider expenditure exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $10,000, the PD Flock Falcon cameras annual invoice from the police department. H, consider expenditure exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $24,430, the Harley Davidson payoff. I, consider expenditure exceeding $5,000, not to exceed $20,000, Station 271 maintenance and security cameras. And J, board appointments.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there further discussion on approval of the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. Next, we'll move on to unfinished business. We'll start with item A, the public hearing for City Mark annexation. I'll open the public hearing at 7:12 p.m. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on the City Mark annexation?
Good evening, Mr. President, Town Council members, Joe Calderon, attorney representing City Mark. Just happy to answer any questions. We have 3 contiguous parcels that combined together are about 98 acres. We do meet the contiguity requirements. We tendered the memorandum of understanding, all the consents. Happy to answer any questions that you may have as council, but hopefully it's simple as making sure that the contiguity requirements met since it's 100% voluntary.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Any questions for council? Anyone else from the public wishes to speak on the annexation? Hearing none, will the council on the public hearing?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. Public hearing is closed at 7:13 p.m. Next, we move on to item B, consider adoption of fiscal plan resolution, City Mark Super Voluntary Annexation, Resolution 2022-10. Thank you. Resolution number 2022-10, a fiscal policy resolution for annexing contiguous territory to the town of Whitestown, Indiana, City Mark Super Voluntary Annexation. I would make a motion we adopt Resolution 2022-10.
Second.
Motion is second for the discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is adopted. Next, we move on to consider adoption of the patch annexation ordinance, Ordinance 2022-06. Ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Whitestown, Indiana, annexing territory to the Town of Whitestown, Indiana, placing the same within the corporate boundaries thereof, and making the same a part of the Town of Whitestown, patch 2022, super voluntary annexation.
Mr. President, make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 2022-06, patch annexation ordinance.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is adopted. Next, we'll move on to new business. First item in new business is item A. It's a first read only for an ordinance amending the water capacity fees of Whitestown Municipal Utilities. Ordinance number 2022-16, an ordinance amending the water capacity fees of Whitestown Municipal Utilities. Danny, just for everyone's understanding, these fees are not fees that are paid by our current rate payers. These are paid by developers that are purchasing land to be added to our system when they're coming in to develop. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. That is a first read only. All right, that brings us to item B, introduction of bond ordinance concerning Park 130 TIF bonds, ordinance 2022-17. Ordinance number 2022-17, ordinance authorizing the issuance of the Town of Whitestown, Indiana Taxable Economic Development Revenue Bond Series 2022 Park 130 Partners 2 project and the lending of the proceeds thereof to the borrower and authorizing and approving other actions in respect thereto. So the EDC just heard and approved their resolution concerning this. Now this will be referred to the RDC for their review, and should they approve it, it would come back to us in June for adoption. Nathan, did anyone from Park 130 wish to speak tonight on the introduction of the ordinance, or did they want to wait?
No, they have no desire to speak tonight.
Moving on to item C, consider adoption of declaratory resolution further enlarging Green Park ERA Resolution 2022-11. Resolution number 2022-11, a declaratory resolution of the Town of Whitestown, Indiana, further enlarging the Green Park Economic Revitalization Area in connection with the previously approved application for the real property tax abatement, Park 130 Partners 2 LLC. As we review this, I think it's important to note, as Rob and I saw on the RDC, that if you turn to Exhibit B in the packet, what you'll see is what's being enlarged is just this small red rectangle where they were able to purchase the last bit of property. And so all we're doing here is just right-size the entire area by bringing this one last holdout that they were able to purchase into the ERA. It makes everything a lot cleaner and a lot easier on all parties involved. So that makes this a really great item to move forward. So I would move the adoption of resolution number 2022-11.
Second.
Motion and second for the discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Was I?
Motion's adopted. Moving on to item D, consider ordinance approving Ambrose Clark rezone ordinance 2022-18. Just a little housekeeping note, the next three items on our agenda are rezones. So these are single read ordinances. As everyone's noticed, there are three of us here tonight. So normally to adopt an ordinance on the same night it's introduced, rules must be suspended, which requires a 2/3 majority. Obviously only having 3 of 5, that's not 2/3, but these are single read ordinances. So we'll start with ordinance number 2022-18, an ordinance amending zoning maps within the zoning ordinance of the Town of Whitestown, Indiana, zoning maps amendment, PC 22-001-ZA. All right, is there anyone, is the petitioner here this evening? Come on forward. As they make their way forward, I just want to note for you in the packet, as you see, this received a 7-0 favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you hearing this case tonight and your favorable consideration. If the board doesn't have any questions, I don't want to slow this council down.
Any questions for the petitioner? Could you name the petitioner and yourself for the record? I know you've been here many times, but just
I'm Brian Toohey. My address is 50 South Meridian. Here with me is Greg Rasmussen from Ambrose Property Group, and we thank you for your attention to this evening.
All right, thank you so much. Further discussion? All right, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-18.
Second.
Motion is second for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. Next, we move on to ordinance number 2022-19, an ordinance amending zoning maps within the zoning ordinance of the Town of Whitestown, Indiana, zoning map amendment PC 22-016-ZA. Is there anyone, is the petitioner here this evening? Come on back up.
President, again, for the record, my name is Brian Toohey. I represent the petitioner of Braun Development Company. Here with me tonight is Steve Braun and Adam Braun. Since my approach in the previous petition worked out pretty well, I'll adopt the same approach and respectfully ask for your approval, which this case also received a 7-0 vote of the Plan Commission.
I figured I'd let you say that one this time, so. Thank you so much. Questions from council for the petitioner? All right. I will make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-19.
Second.
I got a second from Rob, so motion second for the discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted.
Thank you for working with the residents around that. I appreciate the commitments that you all made.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item F, consider ordinance approving the City Mark rezone, ordinance 2022-20. Ordinance 2022-20, an ordinance amending zoning maps within the zoning ordinance of the town of Whitestone, Indiana, zoning maps amendment PC 22-025-ZA. Is the petitioner here this evening? As they make their way forward, just want to let council know that the Plan Commission did give a favorable recommendation by a 7-0 vote.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members. Joe Calderon, 11 South Meridian, representing the petitioner, City Mark. The only item I would like to add, just so that you're aware, is that there is a signed commitment that we negotiated with your staff in response to comments received by two of the neighbors on the east, Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Janasek. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions and hope you can approve this contingent upon the commitment as well as the annexation being adopted.
All right. Thank you so much. Questions for the petitioner? Hearing none, I would offer a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-20 with all those things entailed.
Second.
Motion second for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. Thank you very much, and thank you for working with the residents as well. That brings us to the end of our listed agenda. I have no other business on here. Is there any other business to come before the council this evening? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second for discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion's adopted. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Recording stopped.